Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the only team from Southern Africa at the 2017 Gabon African Cup of Nations Finals Tournament, the Warriors of Zimbabwe. Hello there and welcome to another show. I'm Charles, CNN Mabika, and it's always good, it's always exciting when we talk to you all over the world from wherever you are. And yes, keep those messages rolling, keep doing whatever you are doing, and of course getting this show. If you fail to get us live every Sunday, that's local time, 12 noon, you can always download it anytime at your leisure, wherever you are. And yes, these are the platforms that you can talk to everybody right around the world from.
Hi, this is Star Black, Charles Kaseke, former Black Aces defender in the UK. Make a date with Charles Mabika's Soccer Diaries on YouTube and Facebook and catch up on all the great stories from the past.
Yes, we start the show rolling by sending you on another Zim treasure hunt. Yes, that's at the top of the show, where we want to find out whether you know about things that happened in the past, things that are happening in the present, and things that are happening in future of Zimbabwe football. Right, this week's treasure hunt is: which team won the National League title in 1966? Was it A, Dynamos? Was it B, St. Paul's? Or was it C, Highlanders? Well, let's see if you can crack this one, if you can fish out the treasure. Easy, and it's multiple choice. You got a choice of 3 answers, and only one of them is correct. But don't worry, if you failed to get this treasure hunt, coming up at the end of the show, we will unravel it for you. Right, what's the show about this week? Well, the show, will we ever kick off the 2020 season? Well, we are waiting, everybody. I know you and I are waiting to kick off the 2020 season, but we have to wait until it's all clear. We have to wait until the all clear is given first by government. Then we'll hear what the Zimbabwe Football Association does direct, and then we hear what our own PSL does direct. But we won't rest on our laurels, because we will keep you informed of what is happening as we prepare for a possible return to football in 2020. We will start from this week looking at all the 18 Premiership teams and see which ones have got a chance of winning the league title, who will finish up as runners-up, first runners-up or second runners-up, and we will want to hear from you as well. So this week we will start by looking at the prospects of Dynamos Football Club. So coming up first is a special representative from Dimbare, Dynamos Football Club, to tell us about what is happening right now as we wait for the 2020 soccer season. Well, I did promise you that we would be having a special representative from Dimbare Dynamos Football Club to talk to us about what has been happening as we await the kickoff to the 2020 season. And it gives me pleasure to welcome the head coach at Dimbare, Tonderai Stanza Ndiraya. Well, Stanza is good. Thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Thank you very much, CNN. It's always a pleasure being here with you on the show.
Well, Stanza, how is the season's suspension due to the corona pandemic affected your preparations for 2020?
CNN, I think it disturbed us in a very, very big way. I think to be honest, we were done with our preparations. I think we had done our six weeks. We were actually in our 7th week of preparation. As you know, pre-season is 6 to 8 weeks. So I can safely say we were done with our preparation, and what was left was for us to get into the competition. Unfortunately, we had to meet the fate we met. But look, there's nothing we can do. This is who we are. This is what we have. There's no one to blame here. We are all in this together, and we are just waiting for the authorities to give us a signal on when to start our preparations again. But I must say that I think we've gone on for a long time now without any activity, and the honest truth is we are going to start from scratch. All that we had done has now been washed, into the drain. So we are starting all over again. But we are not resting. Our players are still active. I think we've introduced some Zoom training at our team. So our fitness trainer is coordinating that, Tendai Chitua. So we've put our players into some groups where I will be in attendance, and then together with the fitness trainer, we are training our boys that way.
Is your 2020 squad a building project, or you intend to go on an all-out immediate attack for the league title?
Thanks, CNN, for that question. I think it's a question which is on the minds of many. But I think what is important is for us to understand where we are coming from. And I think I've said it on various platforms that last year we didn't have a strong team. We had a below average team, if you ask me. We went for about 19 games unbeaten, and if we had quality in our squad, I think we could have won the league last year. We only needed to win about 5-6 games out of the 19 draws that we had. So that gave us a hint of what we had in terms of for our playing personnel, and that's why we had to offload most of those players and bring in some. And I'm glad to say that this year we brought in some bit of quality, but I must also stress that building a team is a process. The process for me should have started last year, but that didn't happen. Of course, we have some bright prospects in last year's squad, and those are the players that we retained this year. You want to mention Emmanuel Jalai, you mention Tinotenda Muringai, Jarison Selemani, just to mention but a few. But we had to run around and bring in some more quality. And like I've said, it's a process. But let me also say that Dynamos Football Club is a big institution which should be fighting for trophies and honors every season. So as we are building, we also have that in our minds. We have to fight for things. It's a process, but look, when you are building things at Dynamos, you also have to make sure that you satisfy a very important constituency of us. I think you know what I'm talking about. So, so we hope to be winning some games. At the same time, we will be building our team for better performances. I must also admit that we have teams who have been building their teams for some time now. You talk of FC Platinum, you talk of Chicken Inn. They've been there, they've been building, you know, and they have quality squads. So if you ask me right now, if we are at the same level with FC Platinum or Chicken Inn, my answer is obviously no. So we are building, but as we are building, we want to compete at the same level with Chicken Inn and all other teams, Ngezi Platinum Stars, all those teams. But rest assured, as we are building, we are going to be fighting and we'll be getting some results.
Now, Stanza, if the league were to start tomorrow, who would be your three favorites for the league title, starting with number 1, number 2, number 3?
Well, that's a difficult one, CNN. Very difficult one for me. But look, I think FC Platinum will always be the team to beat, obviously because of the history and what they've done in the past 3 years. They've won the league 3 times. And they've also gone on to acquire some new quality players. They've freshened up their squad, you know, by bringing in even more quality. So they will remain favorites. They'll be number 1. Chicken Inn would be second for me, for the sole reason that they've been consistent in terms of building their squad. They've got the consistency that is required in football. And I think with some bit of luck, they could have won it also last year. Obviously, I would have put Caps United there, but because of what happened, they had to ship out a lot of players. Then it's also going to be difficult for them to win the league because they are like starting afresh. So in place of Caps United, I would put Ngezi Platinum Stars there. So that would be my top 3. But look, I wouldn't. Big teams will always be there, you know, will always be fighting for things. Highlanders have a decent squad. Yeah, they have also some bit of consistency, so they'll also be in there fighting. And of course ourselves. We are also going to be in there. We are also going to be in the mix. Of course, we are on a rebuilding exercise, but look, I think we are always, big teams are always going to be there fighting for things.
You've always been on record as saying that you'd love to coach a Dynamo squad that understands the club's value and institution setup. How far have you gone with this new squad in instilling that philosophy?
Well, CNN, I think it has been a little bit difficult. I think I tried last year, but because we didn't have, you know, enough quality, we had to ship out quite a number of those last year. But I think if you look at the difference between those we had last year and those we have this year, those we had last year had made some strides in terms of understanding what the club requires. But let me say that we were a bit biased. If you look at our recruitment policy this year, a bit biased towards young players, for the sole reason that we can stay with them a bit longer, and in the process we'll be imparting the knowledge about the institution. And obviously, you know, young players tend to learn quicker than old players. But that's the whole idea: bring in young players, instill your philosophy in those young boys, and then hopefully, as the pre-season progresses, things will start to show. But I think that's the bias we took, and I'm glad that by the time we were stopped by the pandemic, our boys had made a lot of progress. But we had done much in terms of physical and technical preparation, so we were really hitting hard on the psychological part of the game. And the psychological part of the game, especially for Dynamo's Football Club, is instilling the culture and values of the club. I spoke about young players. Some of them were playing for small clubs. Some of them were playing before MT in empty stadiums. So for them to mentally switch from those situations to coming into Faro Stadium where they are going to be playing before a minimum of 10,000 people, you know, it's quite difficult. So that's the part we were now working on, and unfortunately the pandemic stopped us. But I'm glad in some way, because that has given us enough time to really work on them psychologically. And I hope by the time we start the season, we will have a different animals from the one we had last year.
Well, thanks so much, Stanza, for affording us your valuable time to come and talk to us on the show. And we hope to be seeing you soon again on the show. And all the best for the 2020 season if it does kick off.
Thank you very much, CNN. I hope this season will kick off soon. And I hope to be back again on the show.
That was the Dynamo's head coach, Stanza Tonderai Ndiraya, just letting you know about what is happening at Dimbare. Well, we're approaching the end of the show. I know you all hate it. I also hate it. But listen, what can we do? Everything comes to an end. But first, did you get the treasure? Did you fish out when we sent you on the Zim treasure hunt? Let's have that question again for the very last time to see if you can get it. Here it is once more. Well, did you get it? Well, if you did not say it was B, you definitely got it all wrong, because yes, it was definitely B, St. Paul's Musami, back in 1966, also known as the Father Davis Babes, the only team to win a league title outside Harare or Bulawayo for 50 years. Yes, in 1966, it went on for 50 years with only Harare-based teams or Bulawayo-based teams winning the league title until FC Platinum put a halt to that in 2017. Well, we live and learn. We'll have another Zimbabwe Zim treasure hunt for you next week on the show. But before we go again, here's that tickle, that chuckle for your ribs, for the funny bits on It's a Funny Old Game. You know what? These funny bits always send me on a spin. And I bet they also send you on a spin, eh? Well, that's just about it. Remember to make a date with us every Sunday, 12 noon. That's on YouTube and Facebook. And if you miss it, you can always watch it anytime at your leisure, at your pleasure. And remember to take care of your loved ones and each other. I'm Charles, CNN Mabika. Until we meet again, peace. Bye-bye for now.